Hello, Gemini. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Already shuffled. Let's see what we have coming in. Okay. You're choosing where you want to go. That's it? That can't be it. Okay, that's it. You're choosing where you want to go. Okay, this makes sense in that respect. There's a lot of openness here in the actual environment. You've been spending a lot of time looking at where you are and where you want to be. A situation came forward. I feel like for a lot of you, this is where you're starting, is what I'm getting. A situation came forward, and when it finally finished, it's almost like you planted these seeds, and you're like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen with these seeds, and you kind of threw them out there, did what you had to do, and tended to them, and gave them the sun, got them the sunlight and the water and the nutrients they needed. And when the situation finally came to fruition, you're kind of like, that's not at all what I wanted from this. Seeing it happen, well, it's not what you wanted. That's just the Five of Cups is telling me it wasn't all bad. It just really wasn't what you wanted from the situation, and you're kind of like, well, this didn't really pan out where I was hoping it would. It just didn't really work. It worked out. You can kind of look back at it kind of like, I'm not surprised where it turned out. It's just not what I wanted to turn out. Okay, so a lot of you, I feel you're starting there and you're like, all right, this isn't where I want it to be, so I'm going to need to change things. And I need to set up new things going forward to make things go better for me. So what am I going to do? Now, you're creating your own path, and you got the Lover's card here. There's something you're getting very excited with. Now, with Gemini, I'm feeling like you're deciding where you want to be. And you're seeing multiple ways to get there. That would make sense for Gemini. But it's almost like they're parallel lines going all up the same thing, all up the same mountain. But it's kind of like, once I choose one, you're kind of like, all right, so I got, for example, you have 4 ways up this hill, just for argument's sake. Lines 2 and 3, like I have options to go, like if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, if I go on this one, I can jump over to that one, or I can jump over to this one. If I go to this one, I can jump here, whatever. But you want to, like, if I start off over here, I only have 1 option. If I start over here, I got 2 options. So you're forming where you want to go next, and you're getting kind of excited about it again. And you're kind of looking at this like, all right, I know where I want to go. I want to get over here. I don't like where this last one worked out. But I have to make up some decisions. Like if I want to start up that path, if I want to go this way, I feel like there's some hard decisions you have to make. You're like, to start anew, to like get over to that mountain, I'm going to have to get off this one. So it's kind of like, you could think of different ways to do that, but it's not about that. It's just kind of like doing it. My cat's trying to turn on the bathroom light all of a sudden. Sorry, it just caught my eye. My crazy cat's kind of like, I want the light on in here. I'm like, oh my god, whatever, that cat's nuts. That threw me off. So getting off the mountain, getting off the one you're already on, there may be a few ways to do it, but it's not really what's that important. It's just kind of like, which is the easiest path, the path of least resistance. I feel like that's kind of where you're going at this point. Like, I have to get off this mountain. This isn't for me. I don't really like how this is working out. Which way am I going to go? And getting over to the next situation. To do that, you got the Surrender card. It's like changing directions, going down this next path. It's kind of like you got a choice. Don't change and keep in a situation that you're not happy with, or bite the bullet, deal with the repercussions, and just go on to the next situation. So it's kind of like, which is the worst? Sticking where I am and continuing down a path I don't like, or ending it and going towards this next situation, which is going to be kind of rough anyway, but it's like, you have to surrender one way or the other. Stick with what you got or go towards something new. If you go towards this something new, I feel like the last situation, leaving it, could be a painful situation. I actually feel like they're saying sooner or later you're going to have to leave the situation you're not happy with. The fear of that and the paralyzation by analyzation. I'm not saying it right. Like you're thinking about it too much. I can't think of the way you're supposed to say it. The longer you think about it, the less action you take. The danger with a Gemini, if you're really connected to that energy, is like you can end up keeping yourself in stasis by not making a decision. It can just drag something out a lot longer than you want it to. And they're saying, like, not liking where you are, but realizing you're going to have to deal with some repercussions by changing directions. They're just saying the longer you hold on to that, like, first step, are you staying or are you going, and make up your decision. I feel like most of you are going to quickly make the decision, I'm going to go. I feel like most of you are going to make that decision. That's your first step. Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? A few of you are going to have to mull it over and decide what you want to do, but that's your first step. Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Once you decide to do what you're going to do, if you're going to stay, well, then you're going to stay. And you're going to have to find ways to deal with that. If you're going to go, I feel like all of you, sooner or later, that are really connecting with this are going to go at some point sooner or later. Once you decide it's time to go, you really need to, like, get down your 5 base options, and then you have to start whittling out, you know, which ones are actually applicable and which ones are not. I feel like a lot of you can get down to like 3 options. You might have to just roll a die and decide which one you're going to do. Because the sooner you make your decision and start moving forward, the sooner you release yourself from this, the sooner you get your Ace of Swords and you get to move towards to a better place. Either way, I feel like there's going to be judgments against you. But that's other people. There's going to be repercussions. That's going to happen. That's what you're going to have to deal with to get things to move forward. I feel like I'm really close to the camera. I think I set it up too close. All right, I'm going to leave it alone. I don't know what to say about it. Like, there's people who are going to give you flack about making your decision. But you're going to get the Ace of Swords and you're going to have a better time. This is something that I feel like most of you have already made up your decision. It's just about doing it. There's not going to be a way to get out of this without getting scathed. I just don't feel like there's a way to do that. The way that I'm connecting to this energy. They're saying the sooner you commit to it, the sooner you step forward and jump in that water, the sooner you start swimming towards the shore on the other side. The water's going to be cold. It's going to take a bit. You're going to freeze your butt off a little bit, but you'll get there. And once you're on the other shore, you can dry off and you can move on with your life. I feel like that's the big thing with this reading, because there's not a lot of cards here compared to the other ones anyway. There's not a crazy amount of cards, but they're like saying, the longer you let fear hold you down and keep you from making that decision, the worse it's going to be. They're saying whittle it down and just realize, you know what, there's going to be some repercussions. People are going to have things to say. Stepping forward, jumping in that water, get you, like, then you can start to swim and you can just deal with it. Once you're on the other side, you can move on. I really feel like for the people watching this, it's just a matter of time of how long before you do it. And it's like, for example, if say today, whatever today is, you already know you're not happy. And say you go for the next 5 to 6 months still feeling that way. I'm not happy. So you're dragging yourself through the next 5 to 6 months being just as unhappy as you are now. Finally deciding to do what you got to do. Jumping in that water. It's not going to be any colder now than it is. You know what I mean? Not going to be any different. It's going to be just how long you have to drag yourself forward before you finally jump in. And it's kind of like looking back 5 to 6 months from now when you finally jump in, realizing if I just did this in the beginning, I'd not only be through it, I'd be already into the better time. You know, if I just committed to this decision earlier, I'd have been through it by now instead of just starting this part of it right now. I feel like this is what this is for the Geminis, or for the people this really connects to. It's just saying, you already know you're not happy. You already know that you want to go somewhere else. You already know that you see your happiness somewhere else. Moving forward, like, you already know. You already know that you're going to move on, is what I'm getting. Can you see? I feel like the camera's not in the right spot. You already know. You already know you're going to go. I feel like for the most of you, you already know you're going to go. It's just how long you're going to drag yourself down the stairs about it. All right. I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.